Welcome to AI TV. I'm Nick Bradshaw, the host, and we're broadcasting live from AI Expo Africa 2019, Africa's largest AI trade show. And it gives me great pleasure to introduce Antoine from FinChatBot. And Antoine's been working in the industry. I think, how old's your startup now?
Almost 3 years
3
now.
years, right.
Yes.
So not really a startup anymore.
Yeah,
right?
Still the mindset, I would say, but yeah, 3 years.
So tell us a little bit about FinChatBot and
Sure.
what journey you've been on.
So we started 3 years ago to try to automate and help insurance and bank in South Africa to optimize their onboarding process and servicing process. So we have a core focus in the financial industry with an applied AI to help them convert better, service better their customers, their end customers.
Okay, and what's your user interface experience? So is it a bot in a browser? Is it on a phone? How does your bot work?
So it's agnostic.
Okay.
We feel the web bot is one of the biggest opportunity in Africa because, in our opinion, it bridges the gap between a USSD type of experience and an in-app type of experience, and combining the forces of the bot where you can educate, showcasing more information about the financial product, for instance. You can sell better, inform better, educate better, and work on the financial inclusion. So web is for us the biggest reach in Africa, when in-app could make sense, but it's going to take a bit more time to adopt. So our platform is agnostic. We work on web, we work on Facebook Messenger, we work on WhatsApp, WeChat, and any other messaging app that has an open API.
Okay, so that's interesting. So my experience of bots has been that obviously everyone would like the universal bot,
Correct.
right? That can answer any question.
Advisory bot.
And it'll tell you anything, right? But I don't think we're there yet. So we're really narrowly constrained bots at the moment work best. Is that still the case?
That's absolutely right, and in my opinion, that's absolutely fine.
Yeah.
As long as you don't overpromise to your end customer. You can just tell them this bot does 3 things, but 3 things very good.
Yeah.
Would you like to interact with it? That's kind of the workaround we found in order, not starting the conversation by how may I assist you, but starting by let's do 3 things, but 3 things very good. So that's kind of our workaround in order to still address to a maximum of audience. And once the bot is lost or gets stuck, we hand over to a human. And that's where we get the most of the learning around what needs to be automated next. And that's how you can have a real data backing what you are putting together in your next product or next release. So it's very much a phased approach. First one is very static, not much information, very structured data. And then you move after a couple of weeks, couple of months into a more unstructured data where you analyze the feedback from the client by doing sentimental analysis, by opening a question like, what would you like this bot to do next? So that you back your next development by real data and not assuming with specific customer interaction that what you should do next.
Okay, and I mean, let's pretend I'm a bank.
Yes.
I'm a CIO in a bank, or
you look great for a bank, if I may.
Okay, I've been on a diet, okay. But I'm looking for a solution. If you come and meet me, how long is the initial project, say, to do 3 things? So let's say we're going to do 3 things. How long does that project typically last for an enterprise customer?
It obviously depends on what type of things you want to achieve.
Sure.
If you want to onboard a customer fully and you want to have all the compliance ready, legal, it might take a bit of time. We roughly have those projects that have a turnaround of about 3 to 6 months, including the revised project. However, we're working now with a couple of banks on a very interesting project, balance inquiry and e-statement. It's one of the things that is the most asked by clients into branches. They don't necessarily want to have access to the app. However, having a chat interface to be able to get your balance inquiry instantly makes a huge sense. And where we want to take this solution is doing this exact service in multi-language. What about having access to your balance inquiry in Zulu, in Xhosa, in Afrikaans? And that's where we're staying. So doing one thing, but then one thing with a great customer experience.
Multiple languages.
Exactly.
Okay. And then where are we on languages? I mean, that gives it's an interesting point. I think someone told me there's 2,000 languages in Africa across 54 countries.
Yeah.
How far have you got with the languages?
We taking the problem the other way around. We don't start by how may I assist you. We start by, would you like to interact with the machine in Zulu, Xhosa, like an ATM type of experience? And once we know, then we are able to display what services are available in the different languages. So it's, let's say, basic static, but then it enables us to understand what the audience wants in the different profiling, in the different languages. And that's where we can start doing AI, not necessarily in natural language processing, but more in tone. How should we engage with an audience that speaks in Zulu? Is this exactly the same way of questioning, the same way of phrasing a certain question? Or can we move around the words? Can we move around the question? Or can we just order them having a different flow that will enable to feel the audience more comfortable, convert, getting access to the service in a better way?
Sure. Well, I mean, you're clearly taking a very... I'm a big fan of doing a few things very well rather than trying to overpromise and do lots of things badly, which I think is a classic thing in technology. But in terms of the show and the event, the community, I mean, how are you finding interacting with the community here at AI Expo? Are you finding it? Are you learning new things? Are you finding it interesting?
Absolutely. I think the quality of the conferences and the talks is really, really amazing. We can have access to a lot of information, what's happening, not necessarily within our market, because we're quite far, right? Far from Europe, far from the US, so we don't necessarily have access to the latest information around what's happening in AI. And being able to have access to a show that gather those international quality of speakers in Cape Town enables the local market to have access to the information. So it's very interesting. I was actually chatting to the University of Bordeaux in my hometown, and we are looking to potentially partner up. I would have not been able to do that, staying here without access to
I think we're very much of the opinion that if you can create a diverse mix of people within the show. So we've got everything from students doing applied research and showing what's going on in universities. We've got startups in our innovation cafe, which is sponsored by Amazon. And then we've got the mid-sized companies, and then we've got obviously the large players like SAP.
Sure.
And I think if you can give a spread of opportunity for everyone, and also give the buyers something to look at, 100%. Which is different, then I think it makes for a good show. So I really appreciate your support. Antoine, and you're talking later today.
Yes, I'm talking in about 1 hour or so.
And what's the title of your talk?
It's how to implement a chatbot with AI for the financial industry. So I'm going to talk about the multi-language capability, what we've done in the AI space without over-promising the AI, but having real business application of what we do in AI.
Brilliant. Well, Antoine, thank you very much for coming.
Thank you so much for
your time. Appreciate you spending some time with us on AI TV. Thanks, everyone.